welcome to the MVP Show. My intention is that you listen to the stories of these MVP guests and are inspired to become an MVP and bring value to the world through your skills. If you have not checked it out already, I do a YouTube series called How to Become an MVP. The link is in the show notes. With that, let's get on with the show. Welcome back to the MVP Show. Today I'm joined by Simon from Leeds in the United Kingdom. Simon, welcome to the show.
Oh, it's great to be here, Mark. Thanks. It's great to be back, actually.
To be back, exactly. We were just discussing, I'm over 800 shows published, and you were around 645 last time that you were on the podcast. And
That's incredible. Incredible number of shows you're doing. Incredible. Yeah, I really enjoy them. So, thanks for doing that.
Thank you. So, top of mind for you, what is it? You know, we're month 3 of this calendar year, 2026. I feel like there's been a shift, particularly in the AI landscape, since December, and a massive acceleration. Like coming from all, quarters in what I'm seeing. And yeah, what are you seeing? What this with the start of the year, what are you focused on? What's happening?
Yeah, so I've got a small business, I think 365, and so we've really been just trying to kind of I don't know, keep up. It's moving so quickly. I agree with you. I think Claude is the big reason for a lot of that. Like the stuff that Claude Opus is doing is incredible. On Friday, I let Claude Opus go and build me a Teams agent, and I left it overnight. Gave it quite a lot of a spec of what I wanted it to do, and I just left it. And in the morning, it just scaffolded up sort of 3 projects and a solution. It's incredible. So now it didn't work first go, but a few more prompts and we really got something which we could start using. So the agentic side and being able to kind of have these long running tasks is really, really shifting things. And customers are sort of now getting much more sort of open to trying things out. We've been working with an NHS trust and putting an agent into. There's a central tenant in the UK, so we're looking to put one of the first agents in the central tenant and going through that, and that just shows you that this stuff is really now coming to prime time, and people are using agents, in production, and that's really exciting.
And what's the tool set you're using for agents like that?
So for this one, it's Copilot Studio. So we're using Copilot Studio, and there are some lots of lockdown policies being applied by the administration team who run the central tenant. But yeah, it's Copilot Studio, SharePoint, to see their knowledge. I mean, this agent is a sort of a simple agent, but allowing them to get answers to their IT and SharePoint needs. But yeah, Copilot Studio is the first port of call. So
are you, when you say SharePoint, literally you're just giving it a site with files in it, or are you building a RAG solution that with high, vectorized, high availability, chunking it down, that type of thing?
So for the first one, we're just using very simple SharePoint with Work IQ, and it's the semantic index. But they've got another agent, and that we will go down to using Azure AI Search, because it's just the content's more complicated. They're bigger documents, and just from past experience, you don't get the quality coming back from the agent that you need. So
I was listening to a podcast on RAG in regards to medical data, and how you chunk it is so important between the difference of not getting enough and therefore losing context, or going too refined and therefore having no linkage or connection. And one of the things in my RAG system recently I have built is that it will analyze the document first, and then based on the contents, it will change its chunking pattern to go into RAG based on the content. Because it's it started with, hey, let's just stay a standard chunk size, and I'm like, well, I don't like anything to be hard coded, so to speak. So I said, why couldn't we do this intermediate step? And I was like, yeah, I was doing that all with Claude too, as in the backwards and forwards and the engagement and how it could work and things like that.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. So one of the things actually with the NHS central tenant at the moment, the policy is you can't build agents for that they're making any clinical decisions or anything like that as one of the policies. So it'll be interesting to see how that evolves over time as we get more confident with these things. So yeah.
It's so funny because I bet you there's AI running across it now. It's just do you remember Nuance, the acquisition that Microsoft made about 6 years ago now?
Yeah, yes, a little bit, but yeah, I've never used it, but yeah.
So Dragon Natural Speak was something that was, I think it was in the 80s I first came across that product, which the whole premise of it, you could dictate and it would type, right? And of course, nowadays you're just like everything does that, right? But back then, I knew nothing about that tool because it had no need for it in the advancements in tech until Microsoft acquired Neurons. And then finding out they owned that IP, and it had been turned into clinical note transcription tool for doctors because inherently doctors have illegible text. And so it had been trained though on like every prescription type. So when the doctor slurred their words or whatever, it knew what they were talking about because the lexicon type thing behind it was all in there. So this is what I find funny. People are like, oh, no, we can't do AI here, not realizing it's probably been going for 10 years already in your organization, but it's just become a big thing. And we're like, look at that red car over there. I'm seeing red cars everywhere because that's the media talk of the month,
Yeah. Well, is it when you had that idea where you buy a car, you never see it, and then you see it everywhere, and it's just what you zone in on. Well, I think there was the Microsoft AI tour was last week in London. It was really cool. We had Satya do a keynote there, but they were talking about Dragon at Manchester Hospital. So they'd embedded it there, linked in with Epic Systems, I think it was as well. So they're using it in the UK. So yeah.
In the US, they were in the high 90s of every medical establishment had it distributed before Microsoft acquired it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
So it was a rock solid solution. And I feel that Microsoft almost have dropped the ball on that piece of IP in the acquisition because I was doing a big deployment in Australia 3 years ago around healthcare, which was Microsoft's Cloud for Health I was implementing with a big provider, and we wanted to put that in, and Microsoft wouldn't allow it to be licensed into Australia.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's crazy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think it was the nuance of language. Nuance. I think it was the fact that perhaps they want to know that it had been fully trained on the Australian language because there's too much risk of prescribing wrong that I assume they didn't feel they had the training data in Australian to validate, even though it's English, right? But, just that, the nuance.
Well, that's right. I mean, I remember, mobile phones and I think Apple, and even sort of Teams, I'm sure struggled with Australian at the start, and then had more training data and got it better. It's the same in the UK. We've got lots of weird and wonderful accents, and I think Geordie accents up in the northeast of the UK that struggled with those. It kind of makes sense, but yeah, again, it's that point, isn't it, that they'd rather just go no and then do the work, which I guess if you, depending on your risk appetite, that makes sense, I suppose. Yeah.
You've mentioned NHS. How to tell us a bit about your business. How big is it? How how do you typically find customers? And because you're in the sweet spot of M365, it's a growth stage. So
yeah, we're not massive. There's 7 of us. Actually, 7 of us in the business. So we're more than a one-man band, which is awesome. Like the hardest part of this is finding those leads and getting and learning about sales. And so spent a lot of time, and I've got a good team. So I've got Yvonne and Laura who do sales and marketing, and we really reach out to work with lots of partners. We are slightly different. A lot of Microsoft partners are kind of that traditional managed service provider. They're selling licenses. They're doing laptop, printer, M365 sort of support. But we much more about, right, well, you've got this amazing set of tools. How do you leverage that? How do you make the most out of it? And we use tools. Your book is that you and Meg did with the Copilot adoption. That's been really useful to help us kind of take people on the Copilot journey. But we do have these pillars, and around collaboration, communication, automation, which blends in AI and agents, and then on the data side. So we use that to kind of take customers through on a journey from sort of the beginning of their journey, where we get like, how do we make sure that they can communicate what they're doing and communicate well? Because it's really important that for a business to work, it has to have good communication. You need to have employees who are engaged in what the business is trying to do. They need to be bought into it so that they help make it succeed. And so that's what you try and use M365 to do. SharePoint intranets, I know they've been around for ages, but they are good, really good tools like Engage as well for communication, recording small video snippets to kind of keep sharing what the business leaders are doing, are fabulous at bringing people along on the journey so that they know how to help and how to improve the business, or how they can help improve the business. Yeah.
How do you find the love from Microsoft, being that, as you say, you're a non-traditional partner? Like, I've been in similar situations. Microsoft want to fund us to do stuff with customers, but we're not ESIF green. We don't sell licenses. Do we influence them? Absolutely, we influence them, from an adoption perspective, but we do not and don't want to do the transaction. Don't have anything to do with that whatsoever. And that can sit with their, existing partners and things like that. But it does kind of make you an oddball when dealing with Microsoft's partner ecosystem.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I must admit, I don't feel like we get a lot of love, to be honest. It got a lot worse after the sort of transition from gold partner to solution designations. We've tried to keep them, but that is really hard, especially in a small one. I think once you've got to like maybe 15, 20 people, keeping those solution designations are much easier because you've got the number of people. But what we do is we work with partners who can get into those ESIF funding, and that is, and we leverage that. And often the partners can't do the engagements, but we can. So that works really, really well. So that's how we get around it. Yeah.
And when I was working for a UK partner, that is exactly what we're doing, in that we would get the deal done on their letterhead with ESIF, etc., and then deliver through them. Like we're bringing the deal and everything, and they would take a scrape on it, and that's how it works.
Yeah. I guess as long as everyone wins and they get something out of it. So yeah, it does work well, and it gives us access to customers which we would have never have had access to. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes there's some really interesting projects that we're talking to people about, and then they've got some really interesting problems, and it's just great. I mean, that's what I enjoy is, right, you're looking to achieve this thing, and like, right, you don't know how you're going to do that. But hey, I've got some ideas. We've got some ideas. This is how we'll do it, and this is our journey we're going to go on. And that's the bit I really, really love in all of this. Yeah, it's all about making a difference, isn't it?
Are you doing much on the Copilot adoption side? with companies?
Yeah, we are. Yeah. So we do work with a partner, a lady called Natasha at Empower M365, and she's really good at getting into the senior leadership team. So particularly working with the CTOs, the CIOs, and she will do one-to-one training on Copilot with them, and that just opens the doors. There's a book, isn't it? It's called, what's it, the $1 million proposal, and it's all about getting to the people at the top who make the decisions, who own the budgets, being able to influence them to be able to unlock opportunity, and that's what Natasha does. And then we have a program of work, and we do sort of kind of basic training, more advanced training on Copilot Studio, but then go into that understanding the ways that they're working. So really delving into people's use cases, like unlocking the personal productivity, but then looking for those business team productivity where agents and kind of the bigger transformation pieces. And it's not always agents. It could just be automation. It could be automation with AI sprinkles, or it could be full on agents. So yeah. Yeah,
I like that, AI sprinkles. I think Donna Sakara, I was in Canada with her, must have been last year, and she called it, the difference between sparkling wine and champagne, and automation, and it's yeah, because so much of what I see touted as AI is automation. It's been around for years.
Yeah, and I think as well, that's something. Some of the kind of the patterns as well is actually, because some of these reasoning models, they do take a long time to come up with a result. Like using an agent and somebody sitting there typing in and waiting for something to happen, that's not great. But like maybe spinning it the other way around and automating that, so it might be something coming in, an email coming in, Power Automate, kicking off the agent, getting a result back, and then sending that result to somebody. So that it'll still take the same amount of time, but they don't have to wait for it. I think is a really nice way of delivering that AI sprinkles with automation in it. So yeah.
Are you doing anything personally in the agent space?
So yeah, I've. Would you mean sort of ones which I use every day? Yeah. So I've got. I mean, like, there's a lot going on in the world, isn't there? There's lots of interesting news, unfortunately, from the Middle East and things like that. But I have a couple of agents. But I've nicked one of your ideas actually. But one of them is a horizon scanning agent. So it just every morning, around about now, actually, about 6:30, it kicks off. It'll tell me the top 10 news stories, the top 10 UK, US business stories, top 10 tech stories, movies and TV. I know we might have talked about this before, but they've also then got a research one, which I think you've got, where you're looking at Gartner, McKinsey, Google, Microsoft, and pulling out the research white papers just to kind of keep up to date with what's going on. And Claude as well. Claude's got some great stuff coming out of Anthropic.
Don't they?
Yeah.
I feel I've learned more about agents from Claude this year than I have in my entire career of learning about agents, because they break down all the moving parts and they make them super tangible. Like there's two things I've fallen in love with so far this year. They are MD files, markdown files, just so clean, so readable, just clean, right? And I use a tool called Notepad++. I don't know if you've come across it. It's a free tool, but it color codes a section, so you can really read the stuff brilliantly. And then the command line interface, CLI. I've spent so much time in it because I'm realizing more and more I don't need a UI.
Yeah.
Because it slows you down. I don't want to navigate a menu. I don't want to find 3 levels down as what I want to work on. CLI just takes me directly there, whether that's navigating a folder structure, whether, on your hard drive or in SharePoint. It's just the speed is so much faster going through APIs. And so
Rolling out Microsoft 365 Copilot licenses isn't enough. You need an adoption plan to get people using it well. In our new book, published by Microsoft, we offer a practical guide to successful Copilot adoption. Many leaders believe in the why of Copilot and AI, but they need guidance on how, from practical frameworks to enabling champions and measuring impact. Get your copy of Microsoft 365 Copilot Adoption now from Amazon or find a link in the show notes.
Definitely. And it's probably better for you as well. Like, I'm getting older. Switching between keyboard and mouse is not really good for your wrists and your arms. If you can all just keep typing away, then it's going to be better for you there as well. So, I think, I've started, I haven't got that far in, but started looking at GitHub CLI and starting to look into that. We do have a bit of a problem. I think we use Azure DevOps. So it doesn't work as well. So I think we might have to move into GitHub to really.
It's interesting because a couple of weeks ago I did a conversation with AI around, for all the type of work I do, would it be better if I went with GitHub or Azure DevOps? Because I'm licensed on both, right? So I got the choice, and it unequivocally said GitHub.
Did it? Yeah.
Like, here's all the pros of why it is and what I would recommend. Definitely GitHub.
So I think so about 2 years ago we were looking at the pros and cons, and and we were going to move over. It's just such a lot of work to move over, but I think we do need to do it. Because you can bring in like the stuff that I like of Azure DevOps with the planning, the boards. You can bring that into Git as well. So
there's the whole project sections, right? Within it, I've not used that, but I was saying to someone today, for the first time ever, my GitHub profile is lighting up dark green over multiple days, which is, you've got gray, less work, dark green, more, and the gradients. And this year I'm smashing it because I'm crafting so many things. So it is exciting times, and that's why I'm saying the quantum leap. I just feel like agents are starting to make sense and are starting to become really useful. But on the flip side of that, my little bugbear with Microsoft is it's so UI intensive, so much of Microsoft. And like, one thing I didn't realize, once again, a little chat with Claude the other day, I said, and I'd never known this, that Word, Excel, PowerPoint all have APIs. And one of the I don't know if you know, but Claude has created Claude for PowerPoint and Claude for Excel. And everybody's raving about it. And this is the thing, like I had a PM on just recently in the Word Copilot team. And I'm like, you guys have engineered this product over years. You know it intricately, all the features, every way you could interact with it. And yet you produce a PowerPoint that looks like it came out in the 80s. I'm like, how is that possible when if we look at the average person in any of this tool set, they might use 10% in their career of the features, let's say in PowerPoint or Excel. Now you've got a tool that could use 100%, know how to do it, know how to represent it, and doesn't. And then someone like Anthropic comes along and they bring the stuff into the super stratosphere of amazing. And so Anthropic said to me, hey, I can give me API access. They're there for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and I will just build your PowerPoint via API. And I'm like, shh.
Yeah, wow. So it's really fascinating, isn't it? Because Agent 365 is still in public preview. But the thing that I really want, right, is now that we've got an agent, it's got an identity, and one of the features I love of it is that you can mention, you can create a Word proposal, right? You create a Word document in it, and then you can mention your agent as a comment and sort of say, right, can you go and fill this bit out and this bit? And that's not possible at the moment. So we've got some Word MCP servers, but they can only create documents. They can't modify a document.
It blows my mind, right? That's where we're at as in, why wouldn't you just got engineers on to absolutely make this the finest experience possible?
Yeah. But then you go to Claude. So I was like, right, okay, well, Claude has got these skills. I found all these word skills, and I was like, right, let me load that into Claude and review this proposal, create me comments where you think I should make changes and do stuff. And it did it all, and it modified my proposal, and it built it all out, and it put all these comments in. And I was like, well, I want to link those. I want to now link Agent 365 to call into Claude and its APIs. Anyway, there's some things which aren't quite there that stop it from happening. But why is that not available in the M365? It's just mad.
It blows my mind. And I just think I think Microsoft will get it right. They tend to get it right over time, but I feel like they're just, there's a lot more to get right at the moment. Like right now, I wish Copilot, how you can choose which model you use from OpenAI. Let me choose which model to use from Anthropic in there.
Yeah.
Give me that. Oh man, we'll be off to the races, but.
Yes, yeah. But Microsoft do seem to be shifting more to Claude, don't they? I mean, you can see with GitHub Copilot, so I think
because they don't strongly own their own, though, I think they need to be fully open.
Yep.
Like I've got a bunch of agents set up, and I've got 8 different providers that have LLMs into my agent pool. And I'm going, we're doing this task, use that one there. So I can use the best of whatever, right? Because it's all API, all token calls. And then you goes to, one of the gateway providers, and you can have 100, 200 different LLMs at your beck and call. Like, just get the dedicated one for voice or, whatever. And it's just, my world is fast becoming measured by tokens. And I like it. I like it because it's something you can optimize for. And, you don't have to use the most expensive model on everything. Orchestration doesn't need the most expensive model. You're orchestrating it. And so that's been a fun game with me, building out all the dashboards that monitor my hourly spend and optimizing it has been quite a bit of fun.
I am sure that will be a KPI on a CFO's dashboard. Is like, well, how many tokens are being used? How can we get that down? Or, and then it'll be the operations directors to try and get it up. So is that because think more tokens, more innovation, or maybe bad code? True.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. Hey, Simon, it's been awesome talking to you. Thank you so much for being the first appointment of your day. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you so much for having us again, and you take care, and hope to see you soon in the real life. So have a great day.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Business Application MVP Mark Smith, otherwise known as the NZ365 Guy. If you like the show and want to be a supporter, check out buymeacoffee.com/NZ365 Guy. Thanks again, and see you next time.